Hello everyone and welcome to our 27th ESL lesson for the Literacy and Learning Center. I hope that you had a wonderful week and that you've been practicing your English and that you're ready to learn a few more words. Hola a todos y bienvenidos a nuestra lección número 27 por parte del Literacy and Learning Center aquí en Highlands. Espero que hayan practicado un poco de su inglés y que estén listos para aprender unas nuevas palabras. Bueno, comencemos. So before we start on the article for today's lesson, let's look at the vocabulary that we will see in the article. I like to go over the words so that whenever we read it together, you can look for the words and try to figure out the meaning, and then afterwards we'll go over the meaning together, okay? Paragraph 1, dearth. 2, construction. 3, spike. 4, struggling. 5, DIY. 4, extraordinary. 7, federation. 8, assert. 9, sustainability. 10, swaths. 11, raised. 12, proliferation. 13, pest. And 14, trebling. So look for those words as we read the article. Alright, today's article is called Global Timber Shortage Increases House Prices. A shortage of timber worldwide is causing a dearth in supply and major problems for the housing and construction industry. The decrease in the availability of timber has caused a sharp spike in the prices of newly built homes around the world. In some countries, the price builders pay for timber has shot up by about 25%. One of the reasons builders are struggling to get supplies is because people have been repairing or reforming their homes during lockdown. Another reason is the post-lockdown construction and additional DIY projects have created extraordinary demand. A timber trade federation said suppliers were working around the clock, but are struggling to keep up. Environmental scientists assert that a major reason for the shortage is climate change. Global warming is increasing the pressure on the sustainability of forests. An increase in the number of wildfires is causing great damage to large swaths of forest. Many have been completely razed to the ground. The warmer weather has also caused a proliferation in the number of pests that cause damage to trees and stunt tree growth. Sweden, which supplies almost half of the wood used in the UK, has recorded its lowest timber stocks in 20 years. A solution the UK has come up with is to plant more trees. It said it is committed to trebling tree planting rates. A builder joked that he didn't have time for these trees to grow. Alright, let's go to the next activity. We'll go over the vocabulary words and the meaning and see if you were able to pick any up during the article. Alright, let's see how well you did with the vocabulary matching. Number 1, dearth, which rhymes with earth, is a great lack of something. 2, construction is C, the building of large structures considered as an industry. 3, spike is A sharp increase in the size or power of something. You are hearing this word a lot lately, in the news especially, when talking about COVID. There's a spike in cases. In the county, there's a spike in cases, in positive cases. So when something has gone up drastically, there's a spike in it, just like, the spike that will blow out your tires if you're trying to run away from the police. Not that I have ever done that. I've just seen it in movies. Number 4, struggling, is F, really trying to achieve or attain something in the face of difficulty. So a lot of us are struggling because of the pandemic, right? We've had to change our lives around. We don't get out as much as we used to, and we are really struggling mentally and physically sometimes. Number 5, DIY is do it yourself, making or fixing things by yourself, which I'm not very good at. Number 6, extraordinary, is B, very unusual or remarkable. Number 7, federation, an organization or group within which smaller divisions have some degree of internal autonomy. So, the National Racing Federation or the World, Wrestling Federation or Soccer Federation. So it's a larger group that has smaller groups. 8, assert, is J, state a fact or belief confidently. Number 9, sustainability, is I, the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Number 10, swaths, is N, a broad strip or area of something. Number 11 is raised, is I, completely destroyed. Number 12, proliferation, is H, rapid increase in numbers. And this word reminds me a lot of the Cold War, where you had nuclear weapon proliferation. That means that the US and Russia were competing to try to, who could build the most nuclear weapons. Anyways, number 13, pest, is K, a destructive insect or other animal that attacks crops, food, livestock. And number 14, trebling, is M, multiplied by or occurring 3 times. So put it on pause, go over the words and go over the meanings again, and then go back and look at them in the article and see if they make a little bit more sense. Let's go on. Alright, let's do the next activities, the true and false and the synonym match. We will go over these together, and in the next slide we'll go over the answers. If you want to put it on pause right now and do them on your own, and then check to see if you were right or how many you got correct in the next slide, you're welcome to do that. Number 1 in the true and false. There is a dearth in the supply of timber worldwide, and dearth we said was shortage. Number 2, the article says the timber shortage increased the price of old homes. Number 3, the price of timber in some countries has increased by 1/3. Number 4, people doing DIY is one reason for the timber shortage. 5, environmentalists blame climate change for the timber shortage. 6, the article says there were swaths and swaths of wildfires. Number 7, pests are one reason for the lack of available timber. Number 8, the UK said it would treble the amount of trees it plants. And section 2, synonym match. A synonym is a word that has either the exact meaning or a very similar meaning as another word. So number 1, shortage. 2, spike. 3, struggling. 4, repairing. 5, extraordinary. 6, assert. 7, swaths. 8, raised. 9. Stunt. 10. Joked. A. Astonishing. B. Quipped. C. Increase. D. Maintain. E. Areas. F. Dearth. G. Restrict. H. Endeavoring. I. Leveled. And J. Mending. Alright, let's go over the answers. Alright, true and false. There is a dearth in the supply of timber worldwide. So that is true. There is a shortage, right? Number 2, the article says the timber shortage increased the price of old homes. So that's false. It increased the price of new homes. 3, the price of timber in some countries has increased by 1/3. That's false. It's increased by about 25%, right? That's what the article said. Number 4, people doing DIY is one reason for the timber shortage. That's true. And DIY again is do it yourself. Number 5, environmentalists blame climate change for the timber shortage, which is true. More wildfires. 6, the article says there were swaths and swaths of wildfires. That is false. Number 7, pests are one reason for the lack of available timber. That is true. And 8, the UK said it would treble the amount of trees it plants. That's true. They want to triple the amount, right? Treble means increase by 3. And let's look at synonym. Alright, our synonym match. Number 1, shortage is dearth. So a dearth in something, a shortage of something. Number 2 is spike, increase, and that's what we talked about, the spike in COVID cases recently, right? There's been a huge increase. Number 3, struggling, is H, endeavoring. Number 4, repairing, is J, mending. Number 5, extraordinary, is A, astounding. Number 6, assert, maintain. I maintain that you keep practicing if you keep practicing your English, you will become very proficient soon. Number 7, swaths, is areas. Number 8, raised, is leveled. So when something is completely removed, right? So when trees are removed from the forest is raised. Number 9, stunt, restrict. This is talking about, when something is growing. So there are certain things that will stunt your growth, or that will stunt the growth of a plant or an animal. It also means like something crazy that you do. You can do a stunt with your bicycle or your skateboard, like some just wild and crazy movement or activity that you do. That's also another stunt. And number 10, joked, is quipped. Alright, so hopefully you did well on those, and you've heard or seen these words in other areas. If not, look them up and see if you can find some examples where they're used in sentences, or try to use them in a sentence. You're always welcome to send them to me or somebody at the Literacy and Learning Center, and we'll be happy to go over those with you. All right, let's go on. All right, to save you the hassle from researching what type of wood you should or should not get for your next DIY do-it-yourself project, I have scoured the web for you and found this article on venture.com with the 11 of the world's most expensive woods. Now, anything made with these woods is probably going to be phenomenally beautiful, but one, they seem like they're pretty hard to get, and they are definitely way above my price range. So the number one most expensive wood goes to the African Blackwood. I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I know I will butcher it. So one log of this wood will cost approximately $9,000. I wasn't sure where this website was from. I'm hoping it's from the US, and that is $9,000. But even if it were pounds or Canadian dollars, that's still a lot of money. And the price for processed timber in 2016 for African Blackwood was listed as $13,000 per cubic square meter. Now, timber is wood that is made for furniture or for building or anything that is carpentry related. So any type of wood that you're going to use for that, you call it timber. And it's also growing trees or their wood. So that would be the timber industry. It's also a song by Pitbull, and I'm pretty sure Kesha has it in one of her songs, but I digress. Anyways, so African Blackwood is a small tree. It's found only south of the Sahara Desert in Africa and is extremely slow growing and has a heartwood that is dense, fine grained, and melodious. It is used for art pieces and musical instruments, both woodwinds and small stringed instruments, so flutes or violins, I'm assuming. It is an oily wood and does not allow rust to form on tools. I am going to sort of skim through these, so if you want to go back and read them a little bit more in depth, feel free to pause the video at any time or just go back and look through them again. So the tree itself grows to only 50 feet in height, is oddly shaped, and is not fully mature until it's about 200 years old. So yeah, that's probably way beyond any wait time that we can do. Most trees are harvested today at an age of 70 to 80 years old. So that's probably why this is $10,000 for a log. Wood number 2, ebony. Ooh, look how beautiful that is with the ring on the outside. So ebony will command a price up to $10,000 per kilogram. So 1 kilo is equivalent to 2.2 pounds. So $10,000 for 2.2 pounds, or around $5,000 per pound. That is a lot of money. Let's see if we can find some interesting facts about this. It is harvested from several species of trees in that they grow throughout the tropics. They appear rough and charred, almost black, but they hide a layer of pure white wood that can be 2 inches in width, surrounding a deep charcoal, almost black core. So that's what it's talking about. The core is the inside, correct? It can be polished to high gloss, and it is extremely valuable for use as piano keys, decorative items, and fine furniture. It is extremely dense and heavy, and it will sink in water. So that's not the one you want to try to go to if you're stuck out somewhere lost at sea. Number 3, sandalwood. And this one is primarily used in religious ceremonies and rites. It is derived from a slow-growing tree found throughout Southeast Asia and the islands of the South Pacific. So it looks like this one you combine wood chips. So it's probably a very fragrant one. Holly. So this is a tree that we have here in the US. I have only seen a few. I have seen a lot of holly bushes, but I haven't seen a lot of holly trees. And again, it is a slow growing tree, making it very rare. And it is popular for piano and organ keys and for inlay lines. So slow growing seems to be one of the things that makes it very expensive. Number 5, pink ivory. And this one is native to southern Africa, predominantly Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and South Africa. Brazilian rosewood. And siricote, which I just recently learned about, which comes from Mexico in Central America, and it's up to $60 per board foot. And it is used for cabinetry, furniture, and musical instruments. Number 8, Makassar ebony. 9, koa, which is from Hawaii. And 10, cocobolo. And 11 is bubinga. So go back through these, read up a little bit more on them, and then, you know, I would be on the lookout for them if you're ever out, maybe at yard sales or someplace that, you know, sells used goods or used furniture, and maybe you'll come upon one and get lucky and get it for a bargain price. All right, let's go on. All right, everyone, that is a wrap for today. I hope that you learned a new word or phrase and know which wood not to buy for your next DIY project or your home. And, you know, hopefully you can look into ways where you can make your home or your projects more sustainable. I hope that you have a wonderful week and weekend, and that you stay safe and keep practicing your English, and we'll see you back soon.